Good evening. Welcome to Comics Covered. We are recording in the evening on Thursday. We're recording very early this week due to our schedules not quite lining up.
For as big of a week as it was, too, it's craziness.
Yeah, it was a fairly large week, so it was a little bit of a struggle to get. Well, I mean, we got enough read to be able to talk about, but not everything. But anyways, we're here. This is Comics Covered.
I was thinking, like, when I was coming home from work, I was like, wow, I'm going to have some time to, like, do something, Samantha's out, and I'm just going home right now. Like, I could go see our Avengers Endgame second time, finally. That'd be great. So I'll just get a ticket for later. Then I remember we were actually doing an episode. So you ruined my chances of seeing it again.
I ruined your plans.
Ruined.
I swear to God, every fucking day this week has felt like Friday for me, except for Monday. Yeah. Monday felt like Monday. And then Tuesday, my fiance was out, and so I was home alone, and it was a nice day outside, so I, came home, slightly early, and I, sat outside and just, hung out, and that felt like fucking Friday. And then, yesterday, I don't know why. I think it's just the nice weather. Every fucking day this week has felt like it should be quitting time for the week because it's just so goddamn nice out. You're in California. It's always nice there, but
yeah.
It's very nice.
I mean, at least on Tuesday, it sounds like it felt like Friday because you were really relaxed. So
it's true.
Yeah, that's a good reason for it to feel like Friday. It's not like that you wake up on Tuesday morning and you're like, oh, it's Friday, right? That's very different,
No, yeah, it was this feeling of I'd get home and it was this very leisurely feeling after I'd get home every day.
See, that's nice. That's great.
Yeah. Anyways, it's very nice. So this is the show for the week of May 15th, 2019. This is episode 76. Jack took
Trombones in the day parade with 110 clarinets. Close behind.
Okay, you think you fucking know the lines? You think you fucking know the lines? Get it right. Okay? Don't fucking stumble. All right?
Virtuosos.
Okay, right. From the top?
That's all I got, man. It used to be the music. Okay, so just so everyone knows, that is a song from The Music Man called 76 Trombones. And The Music Man was my favorite musical when I was a child. Not even my favorite musical. It was my favorite music to listen to for a while there. It was like a phase. It was great shit, man. Fucking Harold Hill. He is the original Iron Man. He's wonderful.
Have you ever heard, I was trying to make a joke somehow about the Music Man being a superhero. Have you ever heard of the character Music Meister?
No, I have not.
Oh God, I'm trying to find.
Maybe Doug, you gotta have these things lined up.
He's a Batman. He's a Batman character. I think from the reason I don't know much about him is because I think he's from the Batman: The Brave and the Bold cartoon.
Oh,
but I have heard of him. What is? Yeah, I think he mind controls people with music. Anyways,
that sounds awesome.
I think that's it. Yeah.
He was voiced by Neil Patrick Harris.
Yep, that's probably why I have heard of him. Anyways,
that's super cool. I want to watch this show. Did you ever watch that show? It seems like a newer animated show.
It seemed like aimed at a younger audience than what I am generally interested in. It's very much more in the vein of a Teen Titans Go or even somewhere between that and the Adam West Batman stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
okay.
A little sillier, a little campier, more fun. But nothing wrong with that. Not necessarily my cup of tea when it comes to Batman. But anyways, here on Comics Covered,
yes,
we talk about comic books and the world around them. We talk about the comic book industry. We talk about the movies based on them, the TV that comes from that. We talk about video games occasionally. We will talk spoilers about the books we read this week, but we will warn you about that before we get into those. I'm your host for the week, Doug Price. I'm here with my co-host, Jack Ahern.
No, Doug, I should change my name to Jack A-Hole. I actually tell everybody when, like, how to pronounce my name. I say it's like a-hole, a-hern. Because otherwise they think it's like a hern or like earn or something like that. It's much easier to describe, like, I'm an a-hole, so therefore it's like a-hern.
It's like a hernia.
A hernia, exactly.
Except no, because it's a hern. A hernia.
A hernia. Yeah, it doesn't really roll off the tongue as well. But I actually did think when I was a kid, like, I have to marry a girl named with the last name Nia, so I can hyphenate, and our names will be a hernia. It'll be great.
A hernia.
I thought of that at a weirdly young age. I don't know why. Don't ask me.
A hernia sounds like the like musical based on the life of you and your family for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, I like that. I mean, it's kind of weird and dark in a way, but I mean, I'll take it. Sure.
It sounds whimsical.
Whimsical. I like that. Hernias. Yeah. The whimsical. You should go to like
the whimsical melody.
Hospital. You should go to a hospital, find everybody that has a hernia that day, and say, "Oh, you're very whimsical today, aren't you?" And then just leave.
What exactly is ailing you? I have a hernia. How playful. What? I want to be 100% honest. I don't 100% know what a hernia is.
It's something about something coming out of your body.
Yeah. I don't know that we need to look that up on this show. But, how was your week, Jack?
It was really good. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of gross. I don't want to go into it.
No, also, we really don't.
It's just hernia. There's like because I know what a herniated disc is like in your neck. It's like when one of the discs in your neck is like sticking out from the rest of it. So yeah, there you go. It can also happen to your intestines. That's the first thing that comes up when you search hernia on Google. And it's like kind of a gross picture. Herniated
playful.
Loop. Yes, it's very playful. There's a playful man doing a squat, and I guess he's doing a squat because that's how you get a hernia. I don't know. We should talk about medical things on this podcast more often.
I mean, it is an area of expertise of yours.
Is it? And exactly. I agree. What
of many
did I do this week, Doug?
What did you do?
I was going to use that Avengers comment during this part, so I actually didn't think about anything for this week.
What you did this week was you were robbed of watching Avengers again?
Yeah. I mean, basically, I still haven't seen it.
It is weird. When did we record on Saturday last week? Did we?
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like not enough time has passed because we're doing this like 2 days early, and we haven't had like a Friday or anything to like really do anything. It's just been a bunch of weeknights. But
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. I just realized today, because since I've only seen Avengers Endgame once, I didn't really remember the first sort of moments of it. I forgot that the song playing during the Marvel logo at the beginning is Dear Mr. Fantasy. Which I fucking love that song. It's great. And it just came up on my shuffle and I was like, oh shit, that was at the beginning. But when I was watching it the first time, I didn't really register it. Like I registered it in the moment. I was like, oh shit, I love this song. This shit's gonna be great. This movie's gonna be awesome. And then I just forgot about it because so much happened in that movie. So yeah, that's my story.
Is there a significance to that song being in the beginning? Or was it just because that's what Tony was listening to? Because
I'm pretty sure it's just they picked a song from that era because it makes sense for Star-Lord to have it in their ship. And that's what ship they're in.
Oh, sure. Yep, they were in his ship. Okay, that makes sense.
So I think it was sort of meant to ground you in that sort of they're here.
Yeah, they don't even address that, but that's a clever little detail. Sure. Yeah, that's cool.
And it made me feel like that. It wasn't this ominous, like, it was,
I was kind of like, I was a little confused by it, to be honest. I didn't put two and two together on that one. I mean, like, it was fine. Like, it didn't feel wrong or something. I was just like, this feels very lighthearted. But,
and the first thing we see is them playing paper football, or whatever it is, aluminum football. It looks like they were using like aluminum foil, didn't it?
I'm assuming it was some sort of materials they had on the ship, some sort of, foil of some
space
kind.
Paper.
They don't have paper in space. They just have metal shit. Everything is chrome in space.
Everything. So Doug, what did you do this week? Other than see my picture that I sent you of whale Thanos.
It's a very good bit. You just stretch his weird chin thing out. You could do that also with a scroll. It was a picture, by the way, of so it was like a humpback. Would that be a humpback whale?
I don't fucking know.
I don't know. It's the ones where they have all the stripy shit on the bottom, and they just put Thanos' face on the front of it, made it purple, and stretched his weird chin things
Scrotum chin?
and made him into his weird chin scrot in along the bottom of the whale, and it looked very funny.
What do you think is the evolutionarily what do you think is the evolutionary reason why Thanos has the chin things?
I don't know, because the weird thing is the people he comes from don't look like that.
Because he's a mutant, right?
He's a weird mutant. It's a weird, probably unnecessary detail in his backstory that he has a brother he just looks like a person, like a human man.
Yeah.
Like a Caucasian red-haired man named his name. He's in Guardians of the Galaxy right now.
Eros, right?
Eros, Star Fox, which a name they rarely reference anymore.
Wait, because they can't? Because that's a copyright of a video game, isn't it?
They probably have some leeway there. I don't know how long the character has been around, but they probably have some sort of a claim to it. But I think they just don't because it sounds silly because most people do associate it with the Nintendo character. But
yeah.
Anyways, completely lost track of what we were talking about. Oh, what I did this week. I've been getting back onto my rewatch of all the Japanese Godzilla movies.
Ooh.
Because the new one's coming out at the end of this month. And
damn, I didn't realize it was that close.
Yeah, I am I think alone in my extreme excitement for this new movie.
I'm super excited. I loved the last one, and this one, I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely not at your level, but
yeah, it doesn't sound like this new one is tracking very well for a very big opening. I am hopeful that it makes enough money, because I think that's the reason why this one even happened, is because the global box office because it did not do well domestically. But anyways, but the global box office for the last one was fairly large.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that movie, and I'm trying to, if I can manage it, watch all the old Toho Godzilla movies in the run up to it, / also the 2014 movie. But,
nice. I mean, in relating this to comics in a way, it was so weird to me because I remember that 2014 Godzilla movie came out weirdly close to Avengers Age of Ultron, where Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson were first being introduced, where they're brother and sister in Age of Ultron, and they're lovers in Godzilla. So it was really weird, going kind of whiplash.
Were they also dating in real life, or did I completely make that up?
I mean, it could have been a publicity thing, but it could have been made up in your mind, or I don't know.
Or maybe it was just in my fanfic.
Maybe it was in your fanfic. Aaron Taylor Johnson, he, the change between Kick-Ass and now is insane.
Is he in anything anymore?
I haven't heard anything about him at all. What if he's dead?
Oh my god, everyone just forgot about him. He's in a ditch somewhere.
Remember when we were talking about Patrick Swayze one time? We forgot that he was dead? I mean, it could happen.
Well, okay. I don't think... I gotta look it up so I'm not offending someone, but I'm fairly sure Aaron Taylor Johnson is out there still doing...
No, he's alive. I just looked him up. He has a spouse named Sam Taylor Johnson. I don't know if that's a guy or girl, but that's fun. You do you, man.
He's in the new Kingsman movie, apparently, that is happening right now.
Okay, that's fun. Sure, wait, those are comics, right?
Kingsman? Yes, I have never read them. They are called The Secret Service.
Oh, okay. Interesting. But you really like the first movie, but not so much the second movie, right?
I have never seen the second movie.
Oh, why didn't you see it? Didn't you?
I don't know. The second one didn't look as good to me, but I don't know. I just never got around to it. I'll watch it at some point.
Okay.
But the first one's very fun. It's based on a Mark Millar comic. Mark Millar and Dave Gibbons from Watchmen.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. Yeah. That's great. Okay.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
You You wanna talk about some news?
Yeah, sure, Doug.
You wanna do that? You wanna talk about some news?
Please.
This is gonna make everyone want to rip their ears out. Let's talk about some news. I feel like there was a bunch of comic book news this week in advance of the solicits for next month, or not next month, whatever, the next month, in terms of comic book solicitations. And not a ton of like movie, whatever, multimedia news. But some exciting stuff in the world of comics.
Sorry, I just yesterday, last night, Kevin Feige actually did an AMA on Reddit, and he was talking about some cool stuff. I don't remember a lot of the stuff that I read, but it was really cool. You know, it was a lot of non-answers. He did say that, you know, he's excited to introduce a lot of new characters and stuff like that. And, yeah, I don't really remember. If I remember random things, I'll just spout them out and yell them.
Yeah, just yell them in the middle of a sentence, I'm saying. Otherwise, this sounds like a wonderful, very noteworthy thing for you to bring up.
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyways, so this is something that I'm very excited about. You're not reading the current series right now, but this is a big deal to me.
Yeah.
Is that so? There's a series at DC right now called The Wildstorm, which is a kind of reimagining of an old publisher slash universe slash imprint, whatever, that got absorbed into DC. It was called Wildstorm, the Wildstorm universe. And it was its own universe of superhero stuff. And DC bought them at some point and integrated those characters into their universe. And now, the last few years, they kind of relaunched them as their own universe again, under the title The Wildstorm. And it was written by what?
Can you just tell me, because I actually just read in James Robinson's Starman a last name that I recognized from you saying it was a Wildstorm character. I saw the last name Hawksmoor. So I was wondering if, like, what year they were actually introduced into DC, and if that has, because this guy
would have been well after Starman.
Okay, that's so weird, because this guy in this run, the Hawksmoor person they were talking about, they said was an architect, and I know that Jack Hawksmoor talks to buildings or some shit like that, right?
I'm guessing that was some sort of nod or Easter egg rather than an actual connection.
Well, I mean, that's a connection nonetheless. That's cool.
Yeah, no. I would be very surprised if James Robinson had not done something Wildstorm related at some point. So that's and that would have been around the time when Wildstorm, as its own universe, would have been like a thing.
Okay.
So that's probably a genuine reference.
Nice.
But Warren Ellis and John Davis Hunt have been doing this 24-issue maxi series, which is just a really long miniseries, called The Wildstorm. And we haven't really, until now, known what was going to be next. It seemed like it was leading towards one of the big books from the Wildstorm universe, The Authority. They were kind of assembling all those characters together. It's kind of like their Justice League. And by the way, I'm trying to make this more accessible. I talked to someone this week who listens to the show. Hello, you know who you are. This is a person I know in my real life, and I was surprised that they were listening. I was like, "Do you know what we're talking about on the show?" And they said no, but they thought it was entertaining.
Okay,
so I'm trying. I want to try to make this a little more approachable.
Yeah.
So
penetrable.
Well, I'm explaining everything, but anyways, so they announced kind of what the next book is in that series, and it is not, at least as of yet, announced The Authority, but it is another old Wildstorm book called Wildcats, which is something they've also been building towards in that series. They've kind of been building towards a lot of the different kind of classic teams and stuff from the old days of Wildstorm.
Sorry, I just noticed on the typing that you specifically capitalized the cat in Wildcats. Is that really what their thing is? Is it Wildcats?
Yes, because, okay. So, as explained, at least, I'm not sure if this differs from the original series, because as I was about to say, I'm not really familiar with the old versions of Wildcats. Pretty much all my... no, it's fine. I'm not... all my real only experience with the Wildstorm stuff was Authority. I read a bunch of that, but pretty much nothing. Planetary was also Wildstorm. That's great also. But, lost my train of thought. Wildcats is, so basically there are these, the Wildstorm universe is a lot of like conspiracy government bullshit. So there's all these different kind of rogue government agencies going against each other. And so basically a cat is a covert action team. And so basically it's a kind of spy cell. In the events of at least the Wildstorm, the current book, one of these covert action teams has gone rogue.
Has gone wild?
Yes, it is a wild cat.
That's great.
Yeah. But basically the team is, it's a bunch of spy or kind of, it's like it's espionage stuff.
Sick. I want to read that. I gotta read all this shit, Doug. God, I want to read Authority so I can read like the Midnighter I have, so I can read this Wildstorm shit, so I can read Wildcats.
You could definitely, if you want to just be part of the current conversation, you could 100% just start reading the Wildstorm.
Yeah, but there are references. I'm sure that would be better if I hadn't, a decent idea of where these guys are coming from. Like, if I was reading it and there's some character reveal, I'm not going to be like, oh shit, they're here. I'm going to be like, who the fuck is that? And I'd rather go like, oh shit, they're here.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. It's kind of built so you can appreciate it either way. Because this, it's not just tons of Easter egg bullshit. It's like, yes, they'll reveal a character is in the book now, like a new version of the character, but they give you a reason to then care about why that character exists and like who they are and stuff. So, anyways, either way, I understand. I would do exactly what you're doing.
Well, I feel like I'm going to read Authority anyway. So if it's going to have any more of an effect on my experience of Wildstorm, why not just wait? And furthermore, they're going to have some sort of omnibus that has all of this Wildstorm series in it at some point, and I just want to get that. Or like a 2-volume thing or something at some point. Who knows?
Something. So I'm excited for that. The artist on that is Ramon Villalobos, who I have heard that name a bunch. His art looks similar to like a Chris Burnham. If you read, what did you read?
Oh, I really liked Chris. He did covers for something that I really, really liked. And I was like,
he did art on something you read, and it was that Grant Morrison horror series. What is it called?
Nameless? That's
Nameless.
the only.
Yeah, he did the art on that.
Oh, yeah, that motherfucker is.
It's not that artist, but it is a style very similar to that.
Oh, okay.
But at least in my very reductive this equals this structure that I've set up here. But anyways, I'm very excited for that book. It features some characters that I have found very interesting in the Wildstorm. So
very fun. Yeah. I'll take it.
Cool. And then, so we talked, did we talk this last show or one of the previous shows? We talked about how Jonathan Hickman, a writer that we really like, who had left Marvel for a while, is coming back to Marvel to do a big new X-Men event that is 2 books called House of X and Powers of X. And apparently this week, he revealed in some interviews that, one, Marvel is canceling every other X-Men book.
Which is nuts.
To make way for this, which is crazy. Because some of them were just launched in the last year or two, I feel like. Then they are relaunching basically a whole new line of X-Men books out of spinning out of this series.
Mm-hmm.
And then the flagship book of that will be written by Jonathan Hickman, which is very promising. That this is not just him dropping in for an event. He's got a longer term plan. So that's really cool. As someone who wants to get into the X-Men, that sounds like a great jumping on point to like not just read this miniseries, but kind of get a grip on like the X-Men in general.
Yeah. Also in this interview, he was talking about like, I thought it was really cool how these series are going to work together to like give you a really cool whole story between the two, even though they're kind of focused on different things. Just like Superman in Action Comics. Not just like that, but like related in a kind of related, but not so related sort of way. So you have different modalities of the characters and really understand what this new direction is. I love it. Give me Hickman.
Yeah,
forever.
but that's also kind of Hickman's MO. The last few big books he did at Marvel before he left.
Oh yeah,
his Fantastic Four and FF. Hugely connected. Like it's way more than Action Comics and Superman, at least if it's going to be like these other books, like Avengers, New Avengers. Like he did. What else did he do? Anyways, like those series are very like they like are of a piece. Like you kind of have to be reading both if it's like those series to really get the full picture. Like, you could probably read Fantastic Four without reading FF when they're both running concurrently, but you're not going to get kind of the full kind of effect of the story.
Okay.
Or Avengers and New Avengers was similar, but...
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really, really excited. Hickman should be great. When did he stop? Was it after this big event, like, that he did in 2013?
It was after Secret Wars. Yeah, Secret was the last thing he did. And it's interesting, in these interviews that he... put out there this week, he kind of talked fairly openly about kind of why the X-Men was kind of sidelined. Like it was always assumed that it was like X-Men and Fantastic Four. It was kind of assumed like it's because they don't have the rights to them and someone else has the movie rights. And they don't want to like make advertisements for other people's movies. He kind of talks, he drops the line, and some vertically integrated opportunities at the company that were not available when I was there last in this interview. So it's basically like, they were like, we have the rights back. Let's put a fucking book out. And if we're going to put a new X-Men book out, and we want it to be a big deal because we want people to get on board with the X-Men before they do whatever the hell they're going to do with them in the movies.
Yeah. I hope he's making bank. He probably is. Yeah. They don't talk about like writers how much they get paid all that much, do they?
Writers talk. I don't know about specifics, but you know they get paid page rates. So many dollars per page.
Huh?
Yeah, per page.
I didn't know that.
That's how most of the comic book industry works, unless you're like. I'm kind of talking out of my ass a little bit here. But that's kind of my understanding, is that largely that's how the comic book industry operates. You have a certain page rate. But yeah, I'm not sure if it changes if you're exclusive or if they just give you better rates, but not sure. Because I know like I've seen like fucking they have like Scott Snyder has an office at DC.
Yeah.
So like I don't know what exactly that means. Like, does he get his salary? No idea. But
I don't know.
Anyways,
what if they just enslave him and that's what his office is? It's this jail cell and he's like chained to the desk. He's like, right, goddammit, right.
It's a cave that he's just like huddled against the wall in the back, and they just like they throw a typewriter in every few days. It's like right.
Him and Greg Capullo communicate by tin can and wire.
It's just Greg Capullo, like, lifting weights and, like, responding every once in a while to him between grunts.
Oh, wow. Solomon Grunty, am I right? Sorry. Let's go on.
That's a thing. In wider than comic book news this week, so there's specific to a series that we read that is getting adapted. It's not a surprise that the book The Magic Order by Mark Millar, as mentioned before, is getting a Netflix series because that book was kind of it's owned by Netflix.
Yeah.
The book, all of Mark Millar's stuff now is owned by Netflix. It has Netflix ads all over them. And it
has Netflix at the back, on the back cover of every single one.
Yeah. But the physical versions are published by Image. So it's very confusing. But the rights to the books are owned by Netflix.
Yeah. Is that including Prodigy, the current Mark Millar one?
Yep. That is also one of those. I'm pretty sure he signed it like an exclusive deal with them.
That's so weird. I mean, I'm so excited to see. Is this the first one that's kind of gotten the Magic Order? Is that the first one that's kind of gotten a pilot, like, starting up?
I was just reading this article that I linked to. They mentioned some other things. They've got 1 million of his books in the works, but I have no idea what stage of them anyone is. This is the first one I've seen that's like got like a person attached to it. So James Wan he's the guy from Saw, right?
Yeah, he directed the very first Saw. He's been doing the Conjuring universe. He did Aquaman recently. I don't know what else recently. Oh, fucking Swamp Thing, isn't he? He's producing Swamp Thing.
Yeah, he did do Aquaman. Yeah, he's involved in Swamp Thing somehow. But he is directing the pilot, and I assume he's going to be involved in some sort of producer capacity then also.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But yeah, he's directing the pilot, so he'll at least be setting the tone for this series about the Magic Order, which is basically, if you don't know what the Magic Order is, it's basically the universe is very Harry Potter, but it's about like secret societies of wizards and like them having like power struggles over who gets this magic book.
Yes,
it's extremely Harry Potter.
It's very good though. It's one of those things that I would love to just give someone and read, because it's a very nice, well-contained story that, moves at a nice pace, is great art, and I don't know. I really, really enjoyed that. It's still out because I'm still going to reread it at some point, but yeah.
And I also noticed in this article, they also mentioned that there is a sequel to the Magic Order in comics that is in the works.
I'll fucking do it.
Yes. Yeah. So there's gonna be more of that, which I was about to say I would much prefer this to be a mini series than an ongoing television show. But if there's gonna be more Magic Order, maybe there will be more material. I just hope that they don't stretch it out too much, because it's a very contained, small story.
Yeah, but at this point, they can go a lot of places. They did build a very, very large world for, just the thing that they just kind of tied up is the word I'm looking for. For sure. I feel like there are places they could go that doesn't make it feel tired.
Yeah. I just I think Netflix in general has a tendency to overstretch a lot of things that should be much shorter series.
You mean Daredevil season 2?
Ugh. Yeah. Well, that was 2 different fucking shows. And also, had a lot of padding. But a lot of those Marvel Netflix shows have way too much padding.
I think that's the main one, honestly. Jessica Jones, I don't think has done that.
Jessica Jones is a bunch of padding also. I don't know. I could give 2 shits about what's her face, the lawyer. Or not lawyer. Is she a lawyer? Is that what she does? I don't even know.
Are you talking about
Trinity's character from The Matrix?
Oh, Carrie-Anne Moss? Yeah, she's a lawyer. What's wrong with her? She was great in the last season.
It's so ancillary. It has nothing to do with anything, and I just I don't like her character, and not that I need to like her, but I don't find her all that interesting either. I don't know.
That's just pretty interesting. Okay, well, that's you. Go ahead.
The Umbrella Academy show was also very overlong.
Oh, really?
For what it was.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. So that's interesting, at least. I mean, you knew that one of his books was eventually going to get turned into something if they had this exclusive deal with him. But yeah, they've got a Huck movie in the works. They've got a stuff about. They've got a movie about Empress.
I love that shit.
They've got shows based on Jupiter's Legacy and his book American Jesus.
Huh. That's just me though.
Yeah. That's you, American Jesus.
Yes.
Anyway. All right, so that's going to do it for news. You want to talk about some of our weekly comics?
Yeah, Doug.
All right, so we had a fairly large week this week.
Did I have more books than you? I had more books than you. Nice.
Do you have
one more book?
The same amount. Oh no, you have one more. You have one extra.
One extra book. And you still got a number one. I can't believe you got that number one. Wow. Okay, we'll get there.
I haven't read it yet because we're recording early, but I am interested to see. I picked up. I'll mention in a second. Do you want to tell the folks what we both picked up this week?
Yeah, we both picked up Daredevil number 5, Farmhand number 7, Guardians of the Galaxy number 5, Gideon Falls number 13, Immortal Hulk number 17. Which, by the way, I heard that Immortal Hulk is outselling Batman. How crazy.
That's surprising and not surprising. I don't know.
Okay.
Because, yes, you would think Batman would be outselling it, but also Tom King is divisive.
I know. No, it makes sense.
A lot of people, and especially his Batman run is especially hated on. I would say. I really like his Batman. People turned on his run after the Catwoman shit. That he, for people not in the know, I mean, we've talked about it openly on the show before. He was going to marry Catwoman, and then it didn't happen, and then everybody got mad.
Yeah.
So,
whatever.
Anyways,
this is cool. I don't know. We got Little Bird number 3. It's always in all caps on here. I love that. Naomi number 5. Spider-Man: Life Story number 3, Superman number 11, and I Had Alone, High Level number 4, which Doug still needs to start reading, Justice League number 24, the first one where Doug actually didn't pick it up, even though he said last time that he wasn't going to pick it up, and still did, but this one he actually didn't pick it up. Right, Doug?
Did it, real quick question, did it tie in any way into the Year of the Villain stuff?
I have not read it yet.
Oh, that's right. I should know.
Samantha read it, and she said it was great, but I didn't ask for specifics, obviously.
Okay.
Then I also had Oblivion Song number 15 and Skyward number 13, both of which you need to start reading. Just saying.
You are just really on the guilt train all the time. You never let up. It's just choo-choo, motherfucker, guilt train.
I mean, yeah, you can do it to me, but I just feel very, very strongly both about Oblivion Song and Skyward and High Level.
There's so many books. I'm reading so many books. I'm not saying I don't want to read those someday, but I'm not going to go back and catch up on these other books add to my, so I can add to my weekly stack. When I have missed the boat, like if I'm like past like issue number 5 on a series, I count that as a blessing. I'm like, I'll like feel guilty and hear other people talk about, oh, this series is amazing, but I'll just be like, fuck it, I missed it.
Okay, High Level then. It's at number 4. You can do it.
Sure, I'll get around to that one.
Okay, what'd you have,
That one is the
Doug?
least interested of these ones.
I know. I understand. Okay, what'd you have, Dick?
Anyways, I also picked up American Carnage, number 7. Batman number 71, speaking of that series, and the new series Last Stop on the Red Line, number 1.
So I will say...
I didn't notice...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I didn't notice until downloading that I'm reading it digitally. I downloaded the issue this week. All I saw was a little tiny preview of the cover, and I didn't realize that the veins on the lady's neck on the cover are a map of the Red Line, and I assume Chicago. I assume it's the Chicago Red Line.
I mean, yeah, it's great. I love the cover. That's what originally kind of interested me about it. I probably shouldn't have read a review, and I won't tell. Should I not tell you what the review said?
If you want to be vague about it, that's not. Is it about quality?
Yeah,
because that's more what I'm concerned about. I don't want you to tell me the book is bad. Basically,
It's not.
Just because I still want to try it.
Yeah, they don't say it's bad. They just say like it apparently purports itself to be a horror comic, and it's just not that much into the horror, but it is a good murder mystery. Apparently.
Okay, all right. I'm still interested. That was one of the things that intrigued me about that. I'm here for monsters. I'm here for mysteries. Those are my two Those are my two platforms. I'm running for president in 2020.
Great.
Monsters and mysteries. What were we going to talk about? We were going to talk about Little Bird. You want to give a spoiler warning, Jack?
Okay, here we go. I've been working on this all week. There you go.
That was the Superman theme.
I wrote that song. It's mine, and I will sell it to
copyright Jack Ahern. No one. That is an original song. Don't sue.
I can sell it to Warner Brothers for millions of dollars. It'll be great.
John Williams, come at me.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah. I've been meaning to rewatch those movies recently. Oh my God, what the fuck was it? Holy shit. The Tick this season has a very funny parody of the Can You Read My Mind flying sequence from the first Superman movie. Do you remember that sequence?
Oh God, I don't remember. No, it's been so long.
There's a really weird sequence in the first Superman movie where he, and we'll get back to the goddamn comic books in a second, but let me get this point out. Where, Superman is carrying Lois Lane, and they're flying above the clouds. And there's this weird, like, there's music playing and you could hear her internal thoughts. She's like basically reciting poetry, but she's like, can you read my mind? Blah, 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 blah. What? And it like goes on for a while. It's like this weird, like poetic thing, almost musical-esque thing. It's very, very strange. They did a parody of that where the Superman analog in The Tick has a reporter who's been talking shit about him on the TV, and the man is very terrified. And he's thinking about what he thinks the reporter thinks about him.
Oh.
And it's very funny.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, I want to watch The Tick. I just heard today that it was canceled.
Yeah, I was very sad about that. I hope the second season gives any type of closure. I'm guessing no.
Probably not. But yeah, I really want to watch that. That makes me want to watch it more. I need to watch those Superman movies again. They're so great. Like, at least the first two. Sorry, the first two.
Yeah, the first two are great. I'm willing to bet the others are fun in a stupid, bad way.
Yeah, I would totally watch them in a second.
Yeah.
They're all on DC Universe, right? They should be.
I'm assuming, but I don't know. That is worth checking out. But let's talk about our books. The first book is the one that we are always just chomping at the bit to talk about, which is Little Bird.
Yes.
El Pequeño Bird.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
What's the by the way, bird?
Before we get into the story, I just want to say that I was reading the letters at the back. They actually had letters at the back of this one for the first time. And for a second, when I first started reading, I thought it was the writer, Darcy Van Polgeest, writing. And the first line is, I just finished chapter 1, which I thought meant that he just finished writing chapter 1, which was this 5-issue part. And I was like, wait, there are more chapters? I was so mad with myself that it was just a person.
It's a letters column.
God damn it. Have you ever written a letter?
No, I never have.
What?
I don't know.
Why not?
I don't know why.
You should. We should both do it.
I don't know what I'd have to say.
I mean, what do these people have to say? No offense to anybody who's written a letter before. You tell them
how good the book is, and like, I don't know. I guess I don't see. Like, we have Twitter and shit now.
I mean, we have this too.
My thoughts out there and at them anytime.
Yeah, I mean, we have this. This is where you say everything you want to put in a letter, basically, I guess.
Yeah, except the creators aren't listening to this. Except for Ian Bertram once. He wrote us a nice email.
What if he's
because we talked about this book?
What if he's just waiting for each episode? He's like a super fan. Like, what if he's just obsessed with both of us and he knows where we live?
He's got his foam finger. It says, one says Jack, his other hand has another foam finger, and that one says Doug. And he's got a beer helmet on, and he's just waiting, and he's just like foaming at the mouth at his staring at his phone, waiting for the episode to drop.
Why does he be foaming at the mouth? That's really aggressive.
Because it's the most upsetting image I can think of. He's rabid with enthusiasm. Hi, if you're listening. Probably not.
Okay, but nonetheless, this book's fucking great. Still, god damn it. Yeah, did you get cut off at all, this book, this time? Because last time around, you got cut off.
So today I read, because the last 9 pages of the last issue were very confusingly cut off from the digital version of issue number 2, and it got fixed. And so today I finally got back to, I was just like, I'm just going to save it for when the next issue comes out. And so today I read a whole lot of Little Bird. Basically 60 pages of Little Bird. Exactly, actually, probably.
Yeah, each of these is 40 pages, which is nuts. So good.
This issue, I don't know if my digital version says 51 pages, but some of those are like covers and shit. So, anyways.
Oh, yeah, do you get the black and white stuff at the back? Sorry. We've been getting black and white artwork at the back. You've been getting those? That's good. That's good.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say, no, if you missed the last 9 pages of this one, you miss quite a lot.
Woof. Yeah, there's a lot happens in this issue. So do you want to explain kind of the basics of what this series is and how we've gotten to where we've gotten?
Yeah, so
in a broad sense.
Basically, Canada has been ravaged by this huge empire, which is basically the United States, but obsessed with Jesus and murder.
They are a Catholic, specifically Catholic empire of the United States. They call it the Tri-Nations, which I don't know that they've referenced what the third nation is. So I don't know if they also took over Mexico or somewhere else, but they refer to it as that in this issue for the first time, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, America sucks. The Catholic state, they have ravaged Canada, which in this series is sort of being visualized as a more tribal-based thing, kind of like
I think it's that they've been
versus. Sorry, I was going to say it's kind of like that military versus Native American trope, but a little bit more, interesting. I guess.
I think it's just that it's like a post-apocalyptic thing in that the American Catholic Empire has basically consolidated all of the power and pushed all of the resistance to the fringes of society. So they're very scrappy. It has become a very kind of tribal form of society because they are denied all the resources and shit.
Then past that, our main characters have been this guy named the Axe, who is super powerful. He has a huge axe. He's fucking awesome. And he kicks ass. And we've been learning...
He kicks axe.
Kicks axe.
He kisses axe.
Shut up. So we've been introduced to him. We had a little bit of a clue that possibly his daughter was leading this tribe of resistance Canadians. And she was captured, and her daughter, who we know is her daughter, is Little Bird, who, is super badass as well. The special thing about those 3 main characters is that they have something called the resurrection gene, which basically makes them able to come back to life and are immortal. I mean, I don't know if it's the same thing as immortal, but they come back to life when they die. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's kind of it. They are trying to get the resistance started to kind of fuck the Catholic Americas in the ass. And, that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
And so this issue, so the Little Bird, is with the resistance now, and they're trying to blow up this major kind of, I don't know what center, of power, one of their centers of power. Were
they trying to get to the Northern Guard? Was that the thing? This, city that we were introduced to? Okay.
At least that's the city they're talking about in this. I don't know if that's it's not the capital.
No. This is the place that is their center in Canada, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's their center of power in Canada, I believe. Yeah. So they're trying to plant some bombs. So they kind of split up. The Axe goes to go try to blow up the Northern Guard, while Little Bird tries to mount a resistance against the forces who are coming to attack them at their base of the resistance.
Well, no, they're trying to retrieve data from this machinery, and they know they're coming, so they figured they'd bait him.
Well, yeah. Also, the drones would have information that that's where the resistance is.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So that's that. Yeah. So they are protecting that information, I suppose. Which, yeah. And so, we get a few big reveals in this issue. In that one, we find out at the very end who we've been wondering. So we have been getting hints that the Axe is Little Bird's grandfather, and we know who her mother is, but we didn't know who the father was. So we get that reveal in that it is the Bishop, who is one of the main antagonists, or kind of the main. He's the main antagonist in this series. He's the bad guy.
Asshole.
Yeah, he is kind of the at least in the structure of the story, he's the most powerful kind of Catholic leader who is trying to hunt down the resistance. That's kind of his task. Yeah, he's hunting down the resistance.
And know what's been interesting to me with that specifically is that they talk about the eyes specifically, and they draw the eyes in a very specific ways at the end to kind of give you a clue, or at least it's just closer on his eyes, so you kind of see more so that they match what Little Bird's eyes look like. And I never noticed that before. You know what I mean? I feel like that's something, if it's so specific when we get close to like be able to notice, then they must have done a good job at not having that be at the forefront in the beginning. I know he's always kind of squinting, so it doesn't really look like that, but I don't know. That's just one of those things that's just like, yeah, it makes total sense. And it doesn't feel like it's changing the story in the past. It's just giving us this revelation that, oh shit, of course.
But now you can reread the series and see earlier panels of his eyes and be like, oh, yeah, it's right there. Also, same thing with the Bishop's son.
Oh, God.
We get the reveal. We don't get a direct reveal exactly what it means, but he looks just like Little Bird. He's been wearing a mask because he's sick with this weird illness, and he takes off the mask, and his face is basically Little Bird's face. So I don't know if he's her brother or some sort of male clone or something, but he's somehow related to her in some way also.
Yeah. I have an idea. Well, no, never mind. My idea is stupid. That's all.
Don't fucking gaslight yourself already.
Okay.
Come on.
I was going to say, like, okay, at the end of the first issue, there was a panel of 30 years ago, and it was the Axe handing over a baby to the Bishop at, like, gunpoint, or whatever, axe point, or whatever it was, weapon point. And for a second, I thought, oh, that might have been this son, and that's the reason why he's in his captivity and all the rest of them are not. But that's stupid because it was definitely Little Bird's mother, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, so, no, because who was he handing the child over to?
To Bishop.
Was he handing over to this Bishop?
Yeah.
Well, then it can't have been the mother.
Why?
Because he's the father. She wouldn't have been a baby if he was an adult.
Whoa, wait. Yeah, he was an adult, but I mean, I think he waited a little bit to have kids with her. I think she was in captivity for a long time.
Okay. Well, okay. We don't know what the age difference is. Anyways, anyway, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but
we still
somehow
don't know
there's some sort of yeah, we're still learning. So yeah, we don't know exactly what this thing with her maybe brother means. But that feels heavily implied, at least, that he is at least a sort of brother, if not actual. But and yeah, we've learned who the father is. It also does seem as if both Little Bird and the Axe die again.
Yes.
So I'm assuming are they both going to come to life again?
I think so. I think we're going to start at the beginning of the next one, probably in that weird purgatory thing again, which I'm totally down for. Yeah. I'm wondering because in the last issue we saw Little Bird's mother in the captivity of the Bishop. She was like burned alive, like like cremated, like lots of fire, fucking burning her to ash. I wonder if that's one of the ways to like absolutely kill them, because that's kind of what they're trying to do to the X.
Yeah.
And like near the end here too. So I don't know.
Maybe he's dead. I don't know. Because he seems really fucked up.
You mean
gets not only sliced into bits, but also torched twice all over. So I don't know. But
I just, one of the special things about this series, and just is how it's told through the panels, like the story as it progresses. What's that word that you always use? Sequential storytelling. Specifically, I had a laugh out loud moment during this, while reading this, which I don't have a lot of those while reading this book, just because it's not really that kind of book. But when we have our Lando Calrissian moment of the X sees his, like, we kind of get introduced to one of his friend, and the friend's like, oh, I kind of have to turn you in, dude. I'm sorry. And then the X,
he's not sorry.
He's not sorry. But then the X is
sorry,
mad.
Not sorry.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry, bro. The X is mad, and then they start trying to like throw darts at them or shoot darts at them so that they
that bit's great.
Get knocked out, and the X is like, one lousy dart ain't gonna, and the next page is just like hundreds of darts going on him, and he just falls.
It's so good.
It's so great. Like, I love it when series are able to have this just depressing tone throughout the whole thing, or like action-y tone. Like, this goes between like badass action and depressing and evil like shit going on so much, including like gore shit happening all the time, that there's not a lot of humor, but stuff like this happening every once in a while, even if it's just this time, it's just that nice little moment of like, oh, that's great. You know, it's just like, I don't know.
That's something that I might talk about with our next book a little bit. But I do really appreciate how this book, it has fucking everything. Like, it just, it has every bit of kind of storytelling that you want. Like, it's got it. It's got action. It's got fucking like familial drama. It's got like crazy speculative sci-fi stuff and social commentary, and it's got moments of humor and levity and like crazy visual inventiveness. Like,
and fucking
the
gore,
complete package. yeah, it's also hyper violent. But yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm just super digging every single thing about this. When you get to close-ups of the faces in this, I love how Ian Bertram draws, like, just with these little, like, horizontal lines. I know it's everywhere, but in the faces, it's particularly evident and makes me just, I don't know, really, really appreciate the details and everything. And it's a treat. Yeah. It's a real treat to read.
Yeah, he must spend a lot of time on these pages, because they are hyper, hyper detailed. One thing I noticed about who does the coloring on this book?
Matt Hollingsworth.
Matt Hollingsworth. Okay. I've noticed it before, but I never really like kind of thought about it as I read a whole issue. Is like, how is the coloring in this book is it's almost like there's a film grain over it, but it's like, but almost it's somewhere between that and like pointillism. Like, everything's like full of these tiny, tiny little dots everywhere. And it's very
pointillism means it's made with a lot of dots.
Yeah. That's specifically a painting term, but
I never really noticed that. Wow. You're totally right.
It's more like film grain, but it's a very like, I don't know. But then there's like bits where like there's this like ship they show at one point. It's got light on it, and so it's like kind of spray canned on the like light on it. I don't know how to describe it. I don't really have the words to describe what I'm trying to describe.
Well, no, there are points like it pops when it doesn't have that sort of grainy texture on it. Like the place I see it is when they shoot at some point when the evil military guys are, in a shootout with the rebels, they set off this device that cuts everybody in half.
Oh, fuck yeah, that bit's so crazy.
But it pops because I think that film grain isn't used for that specific, like weapon. It looks very different. It looks solid. Also, the same kind of thing.
It has the film grain on it. It's just like
really,
it's a solid color as opposed to like everything else is a lot of gradients and stuff.
Okay, maybe I'm just never mind. And then I don't know what you're talking about. Fuck you.
There is like you can't see that. Maybe it's a difference in the physical version.
No, I see it. I just don't know what you're talking about with the ship or the spray can thing or whatever that you're trying to say.
It's just I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, but it's a really cool. I don't know. It looks unique, and I just really like the palette they use in this book.
Oh yeah, and it changes. Like they use like different scenes. They separate different scenes very, very well with different color schemes in each, and it makes you feel like, okay, now I'm here. Okay, now I'm here.
It helps you to separate the different scenes in your head and instantly change gears, but also like, it keeps the mood specific to each scene. It's really cool. This book, something special still. Let's talk about our second book here. What is our second book, Jack?
What is our second book? It is Spider-Man Life Story, the 80s, number 3. Yeah, that's a whole thing. I'm so interested to see what you say about this because, Chip Zdarsky, he's just a funny guy. He just writes funny stuff, right, Doug? Chip Zdarsky's writing this book that basically ages the Marvel Universe through Spider-Man, Peter Parker's eyes, and kind of looks at how big events specifically in Spider-Man's life would affect everybody if they were actually happening to the same people going through the same life as they got older.
So basically, they started in the 60s when Spider-Man debuted, and then they're basically, each issue is a new decade, and they're tracking the like history of the Marvel Universe as if it was evolving in real time, as opposed to like fake comic book time where nothing really ever changes.
Yeah.
Like characters in this series are getting 10 years older every time we jump forward, and like they're kind of dealing with like either like actual events from that time period or just kind of like things that were going on then / also kind of like what would the actual progression of time do to the relationships and the characters, and like having experienced the actual things that happened in the previous issues, like how would that affect these people's relationships and stuff in a way that like comic books kind of always skirt around in a way. Like those things happened, but like we don't always want them to be super relevant to what's happening now, which can often like be to their benefit. But this series is like just taking a look at what if that wasn't the case.
Yeah. So
and
you have a problem though, Doug.
I don't necessarily have a problem. It's just something that I've become very hyper aware of, and I don't know how I feel about it yet. I feel like I need to finish the series to kind of know where it goes from here, and maybe this is just an extra low point, but the first 3 issues of this series, it's all tragedy.
Well, the first one is not.
Yes, and that's where I think it could build itself up back out of this. I hope it will, because what they've done so far is like it's like everything that happens to Peter Parker basically since the second issue started, since like the end of the first issue, is just like everything is put through this guise of like, and how much worse does that make his life, and how much more does that make everyone hate him? And it's like, yeah, that stuff's it's interesting, but not when that's all it is. Like everything is that, and I'm like, I think it's all interesting. All the points they're making in here, like, I think are valid. I just wish that it wasn't all so doom and gloom, because it starts to feel a little like they don't have another angle on it.
I mean, I guess I can understand that. To me, I feel like they're trying to distinguish, like, Spider-Man is always this happy, making jokes, quippy character. And I feel like the distinguishment, is that a word? I don't know the word.
The distinction they're making.
Thank you. The distinction they're making is that if this was the same person, and he grew older, he wouldn't, like, I don't know. to me, I'm not as bothered with that. Like, I notice, yes, it is very doom gloom, especially this entire issue is just...
and I think that's maybe why it's just extra bothering me in this issue. But, yeah, continue.
But also, like, I mean, I feel like the story is interesting still, and it makes sense with the story they're telling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, like I just really hope that this...
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I really hope that this is a low point. I really hope that this is the point at which, like, Peter reaches the breaking point and, like, something needs to change.
Yeah. I mean, remember, a lot of the reason this is coming out is to sort of study the kind of comics that are coming out of that time.
Yes,
so
exactly.
The next one's the 90s.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm curious how that's going to go. Because I think a lot of this is dark because, one, we're dealing with Black Suit Spider-Man. There's some pretty direct lines in here about, like, how, like, he basically is using the black suit and the enhanced powers to stay relevant. They use that term at some point. But, like, it's also dealing with, in an interesting way that previous issues I don't think really have, it's kind of commenting on the point in comic book history. In that they specifically, like, I'm pretty sure there's heavy Watchmen imagery / commentary, like, not commentary, but, like, they're invoking the idea that comics got real dark in this period because of the comics that came out. They literally have Rorschach in one of these panels. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh, Battleworld?
The early on when he gets back to Earth from the Secret Wars, and there's a big half-page splash of him, like, swinging over the city of the Black Suit. Yeah, and that's literally Walter Kovac's Rorschach from Watchmen.
Well, there you go.
With his the end is nigh sign. And then the Earth gets hit with a big nuke. The heroes fail to stop, and, like, it's not a direct allegory, but I think it's, like,
it's there.
It's definitely the idea. That, along with the black suit and everything, and they're specifically calling out a famous Spider-Man story, which I think I'm going to read next after Morrison's Batman, Craven's Last Hunt. Final Hunt?
So, I don't know, but I was actually going to ask about that. Like, are they kind of... It looks like what they're doing is they're sort of commenting on character reinventions in a way, too, because it sounds like Craven originally... Spider-Man says he's one of the joke, guys. Yeah. Like, what is he doing here? Why is he doing this shit? So it kind of seems like they're using that sort of way to reinvent someone into this darker, more serious tone, and using that with Craven in I don't know. I really, really liked his presence in this story for sure.
I mean, it's specifically, referencing both the black suit and that kind of storyline fitting in with that kind of, like, that turning point in the late 80s in comics that they got really fucking, like, everything got very serious. And like, everybody, like, every joke villain became all of a sudden a sociopathic murderer, and, like, like, it was just kind of a thing that happened, and, like, the heroes got darker. Spider-Man got this black suit and had to deal with the venom
got dementia
and all that. God. But
honestly, like, I don't know. It all works to the point that they're making, and I agree with you. Like, if this isn't the low, like, it seems like it's a low point. It really feels like that. It makes sense. Like, he's literally Venom.
Yeah.
I don't know. He literally says, "I don't need it," as if it was a drug. Yeah.
For sure.
I don't know. It feels like that. I understand because, the reason I'm just going to tell everyone the reason Doug's feeling this way is because we just read. Also, Invaders last week, and we were talking about how Chip Zdarsky has made a, left turn, and it seems like he either has humor in his books or he doesn't have humor in his books. Which,
like, at all, like, full stop.
At all. Like, I guess I can see that for sure, and I can see where your fear is coming from, and I do hope that there's a little bit of a different tone, but honestly, at this point, I'm still super, super into this, even if it's... like this, but I can see how it'd get a little bit too much if they lay into it a little bit more in the next issues.
I'm not saying that I'm not into it. I'm just, I think it does depend on it. It kind of has to, for me, need to be that low point. And yeah, I'm just kind of repeating myself now, but but like the stuff they're playing with in this is interesting. The idea of him, but it's kind of emblematic of that issue I'm having, is that like we don't get to ever see him and Mary Jane happy. Like him and Mary Jane get together at the end of the last issue, and we fast forward 10 years, and he's gone in this big superhero war in Secret Wars, and he comes back, and she's had their twin children, and like she's all fucking upset at him that he's like missed that. But like we never.
Here's what I have to say about that. Here's what I have to say about that. I think it's a disservice to the story they could be telling that each issue has to be 1 decade and it has to be 10 years later. Because, like, he really doesn't have time to say, unless he did, like, this montage, he fit it in there. But he doesn't have much time to, like, give us that time. Like, we just have to, as a reader, say, okay, it's been 10 years. They've been together. They're married. They're having kids. There must have been some happy times.
Yeah, but that's filling in gaps that the story isn't even really hinting at. They don't hint that they had any kind of happy history together. All we know is this misery that they're in. And that's kind of where it, like, I feel like honestly, even a one panel, just like flashback moment of them, like, or like even of just their fucking marriage or something, you know, like something to give us some sort of hint that this wasn't always how miserable they were. And yeah, I don't know.
I understand that. I think this series would actually benefit from having 2 issues per decade. I think that would be actually a lot better. Maybe just because I want more of this, but I just think it would be more interesting to see, like, okay, have our first issue in the 60s. Okay, now we changed it a little bit. How does it go a little bit more? I don't know. It's like having a little bit more of a progression, being able to tell that as a reader, as opposed to filling in those blanks. But I feel like filling the blanks is a part of reading this story, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of time jumps. it's how it's used. Yeah, I don't know. I am curious to see where they go from here.
But. Like, I felt like we're just getting the defining moments in his life where, like, the happy marriage, yes, it's defining for sure. But even during their happy marriage, there was always that sort of insecurity of Mary Jane that she mentions in this issue of, I'll never be like your perfect Gwen, which is really what she was thinking that whole time. So yeah, they probably were happy, but there were these underlying, tensions that they weren't getting out.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay.
Cool.
But yeah, I understand. Great story though. Great art still.
All right, so the last book we have to talk about here, and we'll keep this one slightly shorter, Immortal Hulk, number 17. It is crazy that I know this is one is twice monthly, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's been less than divide that by 2, 8. Yeah, it's been less than a year. Right?
We're getting there though.
Yeah. 24 issues would be a year.
Yeah.
But so we're less than a year into this, but like it still feels crazy that it's fucking twice monthly series mess with your head.
I mean, I understand that, and it just feels like, I don't know, this story specifically, I just feel like we get so much every single time. I don't know, Al Ewing is just a master at pacing, I think, right now at least. Like, this arc has just felt like just go, and just like so much shit happening all the time, and it's just been a treat to read. Like, remember at the beginning of this fucking series, how different it was from what it is now?
Yeah. I honestly think that he didn't know exactly what this book was going to be at the beginning of it. Because it very much felt like it was going to be one-off little stories. And it wasn't really until he started doing the more ongoing story stuff with the Hulk that it really started to grab me. I know you were kind of grabbed from the get-go, but like, this series really hit its stride when it started going more into the ongoing stuff.
It also helped that they had a more stable artist, because I know that they had different artists for like every single issue at the first part too, but Joe Bennett ended up staying on, I think. Yeah,
they've had some fill-in artists every now and again, but conversely to what you're saying, actually, I thought this issue felt very small, in that it was. honestly not. It was kind of just a long action sequence.
Yeah.
Which was interesting.
Okay, yeah, I guess so. It just always maybe it's just because I'm just super into it, probably. It just always feels like, it was just an action sequence. He throws radioactive ants in his eyes.
It was a good action sequence. Like, it was great. I'm not saying that to disparage it. I'm just saying, conversely, to kind of what you're saying. This one was kind of, honestly, it just kind of zoomed in this issue. It gave us a lot more detail on a shorter event, rather than kind of giving us a lot of plot. But a few things happened in this issue. So the Hulk was lured into this base of this organization that's trying to take the Hulk down. And they used UV lights to basically, because in this series specifically, there's a new Hulk personality, and he only comes out at night. Mm-hmm. So, and he's kind of taking control. So they forced him to go away, but a different Hulk personality came out when he was in Bruce Banner's body, which has not been seen for a while. Joe Fixit, who they kind of explained in this issue, which I was glad.
Oh, I was so happy. It was such a nice little insert there, just to know what his deal was, that he, seems to be a very resourceful person, and they use that characterization in Bruce Banner's body where, I don't know, I felt like, even though we're seeing Bruce Banner, and in this series we've seen weak Bruce Banner just kind of along for the ride a lot, but seeing his body here and seeing thought bubbles and what he was doing, it made me feel like it was a different person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It definitely. So this other Hulk personality, Joe Fixit, is controlling Bruce Banner's body, and basically it's just a long sequence where he's fighting this dude. What do they call him? What is his name?
Agent Burbank.
But they bushwhacker. They drop it every once in a while, but they always put it in quotes. As it's like everyone's kind of making fun of him for it.
Yeah.
But he's like a weird plastic android. He turns his arms into guns and chainsaws and shit.
He's kind of like T-2000. Was it 2000?
Sure, yeah.
T-1000.
Only it's all flesh.
Yeah.
It's weird. But yeah, so he's fighting him. It's just a lot of little clever things in the fight where he this base has these aquariums between the offices, and so he gets into some secret rooms by just busting through the aquariums. Mm-hmm. And they comment on how that was probably a bad decision to build this base like this.
Yeah. By the way, did you notice that these radioactive ants that he puts in his eyes look exactly like the creatures from Starship Troopers? It's the same design.
Oh yeah, I can see that on one of the sideways ones. Yeah, that definitely does look like one. Huh. Well, maybe he'll get bit and he'll turn into Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
Ha ha
ha. Anyways, yeah, he throws a pile of sand with a bunch of radioactive ants at this guy at one point. Yeah, so not a ton of plot. The one big bit of kind of reveal we get at the end, other than Bruce Banner over radiating himself and becoming you asked me about this. I'm assuming it's an amalgam of all of the different Hulk faces throughout the years.
I realize that I see the different faces in there, and they do look slightly different. Yeah. I can tell they're probably just different iterations, which is really, really cool, by the way. Fucking this panel I was looking at for so long. It's just
he turns into this giant monster of different body parts and shit. And yeah, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be the faces of all of the different kind of looks that the Hulk has had. I'm assuming this one at the bottom is this series one, but there's lots of different kind of looks. And that seems very purposeful. I don't know enough about the Hulk to identify them, but it seems cool if you're familiar with all of that. And then 2, we get a new Abomination at the end. They have.
So I heard that this is a past one, and I heard that they said he's the face hugger Abomination.
Yeah, he's got a fucking hand on his face.
Yeah. Fucking weird ass shit. Like, it looks so fucking
I'm confused
cool.
by that. So has, what's his face? Ben Abomination before?
Rick Jones?
Rick Jones? Or is this just a look
I could not tell you
that the Abomination has had before?
I think it's just a look that he had before.
Okay, yeah, because I don't think Rick Jones has been Abomination. But yeah, so they've taken the dead body of this old Marvel sidekick character Rick Jones, and they have turned him into a new Abomination, which is an old Hulk villain. And yeah, he's got his fucking face just has a gross. His face has fingers on it, and they're like clutching his face, and it's gross.
It's super unsettling. It's so fucking cool.
Very gross.
I'm so excited to get it. I'm so excited to see them squaring off against each other and just seeing shit from Joe Bennett. God damn.
I'm trying to find something about the weird face hugger. That's stupid. Yeah, I'm trying to...
If you want to say it's the Shape of Water Abomination, we can do that too.
I was about to search Google for face hugger Abomination, and I don't think I'm going to get what I want.
I don't think so. No. You might even get some dirty stuff if you want to put that safe filter on.
God. Yeah, so I'm very interested to see, because also I'm a little confused by some of the angle we're seeing on him here, but he looks fucked up. I want to see him in like a full panel so I can just understand what he exactly looks like.
Yeah.
But
maybe it's like a Lovecraft's monster, and you're gonna go insane the second you see it.
Oh no,
you can't do it.
Can't understand it.
It's already started, Doug. Yeah. Can't do it.
Also, Bruce Banner's body gets blown to shit in this. He gets shotgunned right in the chest.
Oh yeah, he's dead. I feel like I want to go back and see like if they're actually still doing that he dies every issue thing, because I feel like they kind of are.
Yeah, I remember the first issue, I made a comment that was like, if he's just fucking dying every issue, I'm not into that. Doesn't make sense. But they do it. They do it plenty in this series. I just don't want it to be like a gimmick that he like dies every issue, because that just is silly.
I know.
But if they're doing it and I haven't noticed, then kudos. They made it work.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, this series is just knock out of the park. So good. And I'm also really excited we got our first kind of image of Silver Surfer Black by Donny Cates. I'm super pumped for that series.
Yeah.
It's great stuff.
It's got a weird black rainbow hand.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but the Silver Surfer's got a weird thing going on with his hand.
Have you read anything drawn by Tradmore before?
Let me see what Tradmore has done. I don't think so.
Yeah, I've never heard of him before.
Yeah, I don't think I have. Okay. Unless it was in passing.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's done issues of stuff I have read. He's been around for a while.
Oh, you've seen his name before?
Oh yeah, I've seen his name.
Okay. But yeah, in the back of the letters, Al Ewing talks about how we're, coming up here, we're going to learn more about, Devil Hulk's like feelings about everything that's going on, I guess. We're going to learn about Gamma Flight, what's happening with them, Betty Ross.
Oh yeah.
His fucking Red Harpy, that big bird fucking shit. Like, oh God, give me everything.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like this series
very
alone is like making me so interested to read everything Hulk, and like in the future too. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, it definitely is making me interested to go back and read more Hulk stuff.
Like Peter David stuff is the stuff that you said, right?
I think that's supposed to be the famous run. Like if you want to read one, I think that's supposed to be the one to read.
Okay.
But yeah. Did you notice also this fucking cover is just he's in the ship from Alien. He's just in the ship. He's just in an H.R. Geiger alien ship.
It's on the cover?
Yeah, on the cover.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Did I not say that?
I noticed that, and then also, the password was Nostromo.
Yeah, oh God, I forgot I was going to bring that up. Yeah, also the user, he breaks into a computer at one point, and the username is Geiger slash HR, as if this is a person named Geiger who works in HR
at this radiation place.
Yeah, which is very funny for HR. Geiger is an artist who was the basis for a lot of the art stuff in the Alien movies.
I did not know that. I thought you were talking about a Geiger counter, which is like a radiation thing.
Oh, did you not actually know that? Yeah, no, HR Geiger, look him up sometime. It looks like alien shit. You know, not alien shit, but stuff from Alien.
Damn.
Yeah, like his art is all that weird, like bioorganic, like garbage stuff.
That's really interesting.
It's very, very creepy.
Because a Geiger counter is something that's used to like measure radiation.
Yeah. It's also this man's name.
That's so funny. Wow. Interesting. Yeah. But yeah, that's super cool though.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So I think that's going to do it for our weekly books. What do we got? That's the end of spoilers.
Yeah.
What do we got coming up next week, Jack?
Yeah. It's a smaller one. It's fun. Oh, just so everyone knows, Gideon Falls is still really good. Just read it, everyone.
It's great. Still very good.
Let's see here. We got Action Comics 1011, not the fake Marvel Comics 1000, the real 1000.
Did we make a comment about it being 1010 last time? 1010?
I don't think so. Maybe.
Damn it.
We might have said like 1010, but that would be it. I don't know what other comment you want to make. Mm-hmm. Make it right now.
I just like saying 1010.
1010.
Oh, speaking of which, sorry to get very sidetracked. In the Jonathan Hickman articles this week, they clearly were I don't know if it was him saying this or just the people taking the interviews always would get someone is very tired of saying or typing House of X and Powers of X every time they want to refer to these two. Yeah, they keep referring to them as Hox and Pox. And so it'll always, like, I'm looking at this article and it's like every paragraph it has an iteration of bolded Hox, all caps, and Pox. Hox and Pox. And it sounds like a fucking like hogwash. It's like, that's a load of HOXPOX. like an old timey that's nothing. That's HOXPOX. Mm-hmm.
You're mine. See, I went to those anti-vaxxers are coming back. They're going to bring back HOXPOX. We're going to die for it.
Yeah, there's been an outbreak of HOXPOX in the Midwest. Damn it! Vaccinate your children against HOXPOX.
Okay, well. We have Action Comics 1011. We also have Martian Manhunter number 5. We have Justice League Dark number 11. Another comment. I always feel like Justice League Dark is too long in between issues, and I always feel like Little Bird is exactly like the right amount. Like, I feel like Little Bird has been coming out religiously every month, and it's been awesome. But Justice League Dark is just like, where the fuck is it? I want more of it right now. I don't know. It's probably fine.
Yeah. For some reason, that one is also one that feels like, conversely to Hulk, which is like, holy shit, that number is high. I feel like every time I see the number on Justice League Dark, I'm like, haven't we had like way more stories?
It's because of fucking The Witching Hour. The Witching Hour crossover.
That's right. Yeah, because it went basically weekly.
Yeah, it was weekly, and there were there was like one Justice League Dark issue. There were like 2 Wonder Woman issues, and there were 2 Justice League Dark / Wonder Woman issues. So it was 5 issues of Justice League Dark that were just counted as 1.
Basically.
So add 5 to 11, you got 16. So makes more sense.
Huh. Interesting. What else? We got
Invisible Kingdom number 3, which is, I'm so excited still. It's great. Ghost Tree number 2, halfway through that series. We'll just see what it is. We just read the first one. That book seems interesting, so I'm really excited to get more.
Seems cool.
Yeah. And then Detective Comics number 1004. This is the first week where we've had both Detective Comics and Action Comics on the same week.
Yeah, usually I feel like they're offset. Yeah. Or am I completely misremembering and they're always on the same week?
No. They have never been on the same week. I'm pretty positive.
Okay. Oh, well, I'm sure at some point in history, I'm sure often they've been on the same week.
Thank you.
But, yeah. So, and you put a reminder on here for me to skip Venom this time.
Oh yeah, don't get Venom next week. If anyone's reading Venom, and you're not reading War of the Realms, War in the Realms, War of the Realms,
War of the
Thank
Realms.
you. Don't get Venom. It's a tie-in. And they're apparently having another one in June. Another tie-in. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Venom's apparently a big part of it. I don't know.
Is he, or are they just fucking padding until this big Spider-Man event?
No. Apparently he actually is a decently large part of the whole thingy, and he has a sword or something.
It's just frustrating because it's not Donny Cates writing it, and it's not
Ryan Stegman or Joshua Cassara
on art. Yeah,
I know.
I'm frustrated.
Cullen Bunn, which I just got a book by him. Yeah. The Cold Spots is by Cullen Bunn. I've never read anything else by him.
I always want to I really like his series Damned, which is about demons and gangsters set in the Prohibition era, and it's pretty great.
God, I wonder why you like it.
Yeah.
It's like totally your shit.
It's got monsters and mysteries. That's my platform. It's very good, but I always try to read his other stuff, and I haven't really found all that much. I feel like I missed the boat on a few of his bigger. I've heard very good things about Harrow County is a big one. I know people really like, but I've never really liked any of his superhero stuff that I've read.
Interesting.
So
okay. Well, there you go. Yeah. Don't read Venom then. I guess he's not a superhero. He's an anti-hero, Doug.
Still a superhero. You can be super and anti.
You can.
Or anti and super.
Hey! Okay. Well, yeah. Those are the books we're going to have next week. It's a little smaller. It's fun. I don't think there are any new ones coming out next week that I was interested in, but who knows?
I think I had a book on my list that I was maybe going to pick up, but I'm on Road of Bones.
Oh,
number 1. Would you like to ride the bone train?
Okay.
It's a reference to Rick and Morty.
Which, by the way, they have a start date.
Oh yeah,
which I'm really excited for. Or a month.
Is that September? When is
September, I think. Super excited. Great.
So.
Talk about every episode
later.
I won't.
On the show. God, that show's great. It's like something set in Russia. There's folklore stuff, and they're in a prison. I don't know.
Okay,
but I've been trying a lot of indie creator-owned stuff lately, trying to find something new that's very exciting.
Yeah,
I think Invisible Republic was the latest one that was. Newest one that was good enough to really want to keep reading.
Okay.
But yeah,
very cool. Is there anything else you want to talk about, like your outside books? Like, how is Morrison's Batman going in it, by the way?
It's going great. I'm reading in the order. I'm reading on DC Universe. So I'm reading single issues, but the reading order at a certain point gets a little confusing. So because some of the stuff starts coming out concurrently. So I'm just following basically I looked up an order in which you would read the trades.
Yeah.
So I'm reading basically the issues that are in the trades that they tell you to read them, whatever. So I'm reading, I'm currently taking a break from Batman and Robin, which is the Dick and Damian stuff, to read The Return of Bruce Wayne, which is him traveling through time to come back to the present. And
okay.
It's very good. I was kind of not looking forward to that series, and it turns out it's really good.
Interesting.
So,
well, you know why you weren't looking forward to it is because, again, DC fucked up their naming, their titling, and they didn't call it Bat to the Future. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, fuck.
Isn't that why wouldn't they call it
Bat to the Future?
Bat to the Future.
Bat to the Future in the logo with the arrow and everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Put some bat wings on it.
Yeah. In a second. They'd probably, if they called it something like that, they'd call it Batman to the Future. Like, fuck you guys.
Bat to the Bruce Wayne. That doesn't work. That's nothing.
Well, on my end, I just started reading a little more X-Men again because actually, this is exciting. I just finished my first book of Superior Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Fucking good. Goddamn. Doug. Yeah.
I know you weren't as into Dan Slott's run beforehand, and you may not even need to read everything, but it really...
I didn't dislike it. I liked it. I wasn't like as crazy about it as you were.
Maybe someday I'll have to just lend you those books so you can just read it, because it's good stuff, and maybe you just don't want to spend the money, and I totally get that. I'm happy with lending you some stuff because it does give you a little bit more context, but this Superior Spider-Man stuff is the best Spider-Man shit. Like, I love Life Story, but this is like the best like actual Spider-Man shit, even though it's not actually Spider-Man.
That's always been the thing that has made me want to read that run. Is I want to read Superior Spider-Man, which for people who haven't read it is basically Dr. Octopus hides himself in Peter Parker's brain. He basically kills Peter Parker and inserts his intelligence into Peter's brain, and then pretends to be Spider-Man. But then actually tries to be Spider-Man. It's very interesting.
The character work they have in there is like amazing shit. Like it's so good seeing his like journey into wanting to become Spider-Man, into like, I don't know, there's just so much. Like, I knew the general premise, and I'm just still always hanging on everything. It's really, really cool stuff that he's doing, and it's very different from everything before it, but it's also commenting on all that stuff. And I have a goal. I hope that because Samantha doesn't know this whole thing about Superior Spider-Man and everything, so I really want her to not know about it, and for her to just read the first issue of this and be like, what? So I was looking back at news stories, and people didn't know he was going to do this.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah. Like, imagine reading that, and it's just like, oh shit! Like, oh, he's just. I guess I shouldn't say how it happens. But yeah, it's crazy ass shit, Doug. You gotta, someday we'll get you there. Okay.
Yeah, I'll get back to it someday. I still gotta finish that first. Although I want to, did you never go back and read the stuff from before Big Time?
No.
No, I
didn't.
Were confused about?
I was already so many books in. I'm okay with this stuff. I'm okay with just starting there. Like, it's enough for me.
And I know that stuff is not strictly speaking like Dan Slott's run. He's like co-writing and it's like weekly or something with other people and blah, blah, blah. But it just sounds like they like follow up on a lot of that stuff from that era. So I don't know, man. The amount that, like what you were talking about at the beginning when you thought that they were referencing stuff from beforehand. Yeah, I get that, but they don't reference that stuff ever again. Okay. All right. I know the Mr. Negative stuff is from...
I guess they vaguely... I guess they vaguely did that stuff. Maybe I should go back and read that, because I do remember them talking about that stuff a little bit. Did Dan Slott create Mr. Negative?
I assume he and the people he co-wrote that weekly bit of the series with...
So he's a rather new villain?
Yes, he is. It was a very weird surprise that they used him in the game.
Interesting. Very cool.
But he's cool.
Maybe I will go back because that'd be cool. Because that's also an interesting character to me in Mr. Negative in general. So yeah, I'll go back. But yeah, so I just finished that.
You still can't play that game. You need to play that game.
I know. We'll get there. But
someday when you visit, we'll need to pull an all-nighter and you play the whole thing or something.
I'm gonna get an PS4 at some point and play it. I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah. Okay.
We own Red Dead Redemption 2, but we don't have a PS4 still. Oh, that's great.
That's ridiculous.
I know. We're playing old games. It's really nice to play all that stuff, because then it's going to make me really appreciate when we finally get to new games. Oh, it's great. But since I just finished that, I'm reading a little bit of the old 60s X-Men stuff again, and then I think I'm going to start reading and catching up to Seven to Eternity.
Nice. Yeah.
Here's my next one.
Yeah. I feel like you keep changing what your next one is going to be, because I feel like you said recently you were going to start reading JSA too. So I'm curious.
JSA is on DC Universe, and I'm going to read that after Starman, which I am very close. Okay. Where am I in Starman?
How close to the end of Starman?
I am.
You got to be close.
I'm very close. I think I am past 70. No, I'm not past 70. I'm on I'm sorry, it's taking forever. Can you talk about, are you reading anything else other than Morrison's Batman?
No, that's kind of the main thing.
Well, you're no fun. You're not going to be able to give me time. Jesus.
You need me to vamp?
Vamp. No, I got it. I'm on issue 68. I'm in the middle of issue 68.
Okay. How many issues are there?
There are 80. There's 81, because I guess they had an issue where...
Oh, is that the weird Blackest Night one?
Yes, it is the weird Blackest Night.
Oh, that one you don't need to read. I mean, I'm sure if you ever read Blackest Night, you'll be interested, but it's not gonna be a part of this story.
No, I know. I'm getting rid of it. Oh, actually, I had it on here because one shitty thing about DC Universe is that when you create a list, it just gives you a preview of a panel from the last thing you have in the list.
What? That's
it's
weird.
Fucking stupid is what it is. So what I'm gonna put...
they really need to get some sort of support for adding, because they have story collections, not nearly enough on there, but they started adding we've got here, this is the Death of Superman story, and so you can actually read through it the way intended. I haven't tried it yet to see if they actually bring you through to the next issue if it's not in that series. Mm-hmm. When you finish one, but you also can't. You still can only add individual issues. So you can't you would have to basically make your own list, which I find very annoying.
I mean, I think it's fine.
I just want to be able to go in and be I just want to be able to go in and say oh, I want to read this Batman story, add that Batman story to my to read list, and then I can go in and read it at some point. I don't want to have to custom go in and be okay, this issue and this issue and this issue. I find that so annoying.
I understand. I don't know. It makes me kind of excited, for what I'm about to read, but I understand completely. But yeah, I've started becoming aware of that stupid thing about making a list. So I'm now, whenever I make a new list, I'm going to put a random thing at the end, something that doesn't have anything to do with it. So it's oh, whatever. Because right now I have that Blackest Night there, and it's just a Blackest Night thing that I'm not going to care about. So whatever.
Mm-hmm. Weird. Yeah. You are not caught up on Doom Patrol, correct?
No, I have watched. We watched the Danny Patrol one. I needed a quick refresher, but we had watched that one. And then we watched the one afterwards, which is the fucking Beard Hunter. God.
Yeah, that one's not great.
What? I liked
it. That one it was a little too goofy for me.
Okay, he was very, very goofy, and it was a little off-putting, but it kind of worked. I thought he was unsettling in a good way. I thought it was kind of disappointing, because the Beard Hunter in the comics is he's a fucking Punisher parody. Yeah,
and he's this crazy uber macho man, and in the show they make him this fucking
doofus
fat guy living in his mom's basement who's obsessed with beards. Well, and he's just I
actually got the idea.
He also doesn't hate beards, which I feel was kind of ruined the joke.
I understand that. I got the idea actually by the end that he actually was successful and his mom was living with him. I thought that was what they were implying at the end, at least. You kind of assumed at first that he was this loser or whatever, but then when he, got called in to do this thing and
I think he is still just living with his mom. Okay. I think this was his one big break that he's working for the Bureau of Normalcy. I guess so.
Now. Does he come up in the next few episodes?
No, but they keep alluding to him in a way because he can track the chief.
Yeah.
They're we gotta find the Beard Hunter, in the same way that they're we gotta find the chief every episode, but then they don't. So now they keep mentioning him because he's the one lead. Anyways,
yeah. But you liked the other part of that episode, which was the past of...
Yes. Yeah. The Niles Calder stuff, the chief stuff, weird, but really well done.
Great. I fucking love... what's the fucking actor's name? Timothy Dalton. He's a treasure. He's a treasure. Well, that makes you feel so great. I'm so glad that was the one that you didn't like as much. Huh. Feels so good.
But what else? The next one You have to watch the next one. Oh, wait, shoot. Wait, what was the... Yeah, no. The next one is... Yes.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me what it is.
Don't tell you?
Well, yeah.
Oh, you don't want to know?
If you...
I was just going to say, like, what the... I mean, you'll see the title.
Okay, give me what's the title? What's the premise? Not premise. What's the title?
Oh, wait, shoot. Is there another... There might be another one in between the one I'm thinking of. And... Yeah, no, there are two of them. That's right. Never mind. There's the next one is something you will know. You will be very excited. They introduce a character in the next one. I know Flex Mentallo is coming up. I'm super pumped.
Okay.
Flex Mentallo is in the next couple episodes, and it's just fucking Flex Mentallo. He's just literally Flex Mentallo. Here's a small little tidbit that's just very good to just motivate you. They have a flashback. He's at a park and he's just wearing the fucking like cheetah Speedo, and someone's cat is stuck in a tree, and he comes up to help, and he flexes his bicep and the tree branch lowers.
Oh my God.
To allow the child to get their cat back. It's so good. Flex Mentallo is a character who he has the power of muscle mystery.
That's
and he flexes his muscles to do things.
That's about it. Yeah.
That's kind of his power.
Oh my God.
Things happen.
Oh God, this show is so special. It's so great. Imagine if this show like absolutely sucked and it wasn't that weird.
Yeah. God. I mean, yeah. It's insane.
It's great. Okay. Well, hopefully I'll catch up soon. Probably not this week. Who knows?
Okay. Yeah. You should catch up though. All right. Choo choo, motherfucker. Guilt train leaving the station. That's going to do it for this week. If you made it this far into the episode, thank you so much for listening. The absolute biggest thing you can do for us if you like the show is give us a review or star rating on iTunes. Helps people find the show. If you enjoyed it.
To be fair, it is also the biggest thing they can do for us if they don't like the show.
You want to absolutely tank this show? Go on there and give us a bad rating. Please don't do that. If you enjoy the show, let someone know about us with your mouth or with your mouse. We release episodes weekly on Sundays, so be sure to check back in next week. Or better yet, hit the subscribe button. And it will pop up on your phone every week. You don't even have to think about it.
Mm-hmm. What if we had I think it'd be great if we could, as a podcast, design like a notification that of our own, like with our own sound and everything, where the notification would be like, comics covered.
Jesus Christ! Yes. I'm just imagining some important businesswoman. She's in a meeting. She's at the head of the like board meeting, and she's got her phone sitting on the table in front of her, and she's just like talking about their plan for their
financial
sales
quarter
and everything. There's a chart. Yes, she's giving a recap. And all of a sudden her phone goes, comics covered.
I'd be very satisfied with her listening. That'd be great. That's a great demographic.
And she just stops, and everybody at the table is just like, no, wait, what was that? Just I guess it was nothing. Don't worry about it.
Yes, I agree with that situation being pleasurable.
Pleasurable.
Yeah, I tried to say pleasant, but then I said pleasurable, so fuck you. And you can do that on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Overcast, and Google Play Music, Spotify, whatever you want. Whichever one you prefer, we got you covered. In the meantime, before the next episode, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Not Snapchat yet, unfortunately. Well, we're under construction there. No, we're not. But we are under the handle at Comics Covered everywhere else. You can find web archives of all our episodes at comicscovered.libsyn.com, Libsyn. And on our YouTube channel, we have video versions that are not videos. And on Facebook as well. They're videos.
They're technically videos. Technically, they are videos. All of the frames are the same image.
We really have to figure out a more succinct way of saying this, because we say that every single time.
I don't know. You can listen to our podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, that's about it.
There you go.
There we go. On YouTube Red as well.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it won't keep you from listening to it if you subscribe to YouTube
on YouTube Red. And YouTube's like, no, fuck these guys. They don't get on our premium service.
This is not premium content. You are not allowed.
Oh, God. Like 2 Girls in 1 Cup is on premium, but we're not. That suck. But yeah, video versions. They're fun. And if you want to get a hold of us with a question or feedback, send us a message on Facebook or Twitter. Or at our email, comicscovered@gmail.com. We haven't gotten an email recently, so if anyone wants to email us, just do it. It's pretty fun. Just say hi. Just say one word in your email and say hi. And I'll say hi back.
If you've got questions about comic books, or just kind of questions for us, things you think would be good material for the show, send us about
our lives, about our religious beliefs, our political beliefs, anything you want.
Really dig into the controversial shit. That's what we're here for.
Nonetheless, thank you all for listening. You called me something earlier and I was going to say it, but I don't remember what it was. So I'll just say, I'm a hernia.
And I'm Doug. Vaccinate your kids against HOXPOX.
This has been Comics Covered.
This has been Comics Covered.
Cheerio.